oneself that what is being done by us is the best, and this best thing, doing best way, is our next target till it reaches us to the best of the goals. No deterring here and there. In spirituality, people and world leaves us. In spirituality, if they don't leave us, we have to leave them. In spiritual sadhana, nobody comes with us because they have to be spiritual seekers for them to come with us. If not, many of them will wither away. Even if some come with us who are spiritual seekers, but because of each one's abilities, positions, as a sadhaka, as a jiva, inside being different, more important than this, finally we have to discover our own self within ourselves. So how can we mind not self? You know? Even our own self considering five koshas also we have to transcend. Then how can we have anybody with us? All this discussion is only to convey this point that in spirituality we are all alone. We have to be all alone. As Puja Gurudev says, this path is alone to alone, all alone. We have to be ready for it, we have to accept it, and we should know the necessity of it. And just try that way to be consciously becoming independent of everything inside, more importantly, so too outside. That is how we have to help ourselves. Second thing, in Adhyatmika Jivana, what's most important to begin with in the beginning is the Siddhanta Jnana, the theoretical perfection of the knowledge. Because based on this perfection in the theoretical knowledge, only the understanding, acceptance of the glory of that goal, greatness of that goal, only then there is chance for us to keep that as the goal. You know, goal is Paramatma. The glory of Paramatma is known to us only when in Siddhanta Jnana we are Pakka. Only when that Siddhanta Jnana is Pakka about the glory of the Paramatma Tattva, that there may be a chance in us to keep that as goal. But we all know keeping Paramatma as one of the many goals can never go properly, healthily. We can have Paramatma as one goal along with many goals, isn't it? Because of which we pursue all outer things also. कभी कभी भगवान को भी चलो नमस्कार कर लेते हैं. When the predominance in our life is the world, at that time, okay, भगवान की कृपा से भी कुछ कुछ मिल जाते हैं. But when the goal is Paramatma, that goalness cannot be shared with anything else. This is additional point to say that choosing Paramatma as the goal is possible only when we are pakka in our Siddhanta Jnana about Paramatma, His glory, etc. Okay, let us say we have understood. We have made Him as the goal. Then about the reason for our non-experience of that Paramatma, or where is that Paramatma first available, and why we are not experiencing that Paramatma even though we are that. These Siddhanta Jnanams also are expected to be perfected by us. The answer is so simple कि I am always the Paramatma, but then now that exclusive Paramatma Tattva I kept aside, and I am associated with my so many of these Stula Sukshma Upadhis. About this also, the Siddhanta Jnana should be Pakka. Upadhi Tadatmya, Upadhi indulgence, Upadhi usage, more so Upadhi slavery through all that. Understand this point. I am now slave to this Upadhi, therefore I am so. Why Indians did not experience free Indian, being free Indian? Because we are the slaves to those Rakshasas. Once we got freed from that slavery, see the joy, isn't it? We are slaves to the Upadhi. 100 times we have to tell that. Tell means recognize that. This is the Siddhanta Jnana. In that there should be Spashtata. I was whole day, night also, even morning, thinking about 41 people caught up in the tunnel, Uttarakashi. What must be going through their hearts, their minds? If they are spiritual seekers like you and I, बैठ गए ध्यान में, very good, अच्छा मौका है, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. Anything happens, that is to the body. It is not to me. I sit, meditate, and much before anything happens, realize. वही तो कोई चांस है, टनल में कुछ बना सुराख, बाहर लेके आए तो कंटिन्यू. Even I can do that. But then they are just ordinary workers with so many तादात्म्यास and expectations, fears. क्षण क्षण बढ़ते ही रहते हैं. No, they are helpless. They are now what? I don't know why it's taking so many hours. Some international help can be taken. 41 lives is not ordinary. So many families dependent. And क्या मजबूरियाँ हैं? I don't know. I was imagining how one side the mountain must be there. Totally mountain only उसी में है वो. मैं तो देखा नहीं वो टीवी में. कैसे फंसे हैं? If the food can be supplied, why can't they be brought out? What is the thing? What's the fear? कि total collapse हो जाएगा. Oh, बाप रे. And inside also, they should be given spiritual knowledge, devotion. Should be told to them, take Lord's name, one by 1 minute, just spend it, be confident, and then the help is coming, it will come. I am तो praying बाबा सुबह संकल्प में आपको भी कर लो, जरूर उनका पूरा स्वस्थता से सब बचे. And because they're still alive, we are looking at them, so still the prayers can work, efforts can work. Some places where heavy accident happens, we can't even have time to pray for them because already gone. ना कोई भूकंप होगा. I mean, you have no time to think about it. They're already under the debris. But this is not the case. They are still alive. So they can be prayed for. We must do that. Anyway, now the same is with us. We are enslaved by our own upadhis very, very strongly. That is why we are not having the freedom to be the pure infinite self. Before that, the first point has to be stressed a little more. Ki being the self is beyond all upadhis, beyond all conditionings, beyond all expressions, beyond all multiplicities, dualities. Therefore, it is beyond all relativities. That is the meaning of clearly understanding the Siddhanta about what is Paramatma. This has to be contemplated a lot. This way the Paramatma is, because of he being so, that he is so great. You understood? Some people are very strict in their life, but they're very great. Are he is so great, why he is so strict? He can just be friendly. No, you say, Are, if he is friendly, he would have been as useless as you and me. Because he is strict only with himself and the people, that he could conserve all time energy and put it towards his goal, and he could achieve that stage. Understood? In the same way, why Paramatma is like that? No, Paramatma is like that. That is why he is great. That is why he is Paramatma. See, remember, we are just listening Parokshena about that Paramatma who is our own Aprokshatma. ये मिस मत करना. So he is so that Siddhanta Jnana, that these are his lakshanas, vilakshana lakshanas. That is why he is Paramatma. That is why he is not in any of the bondages, limitations, samsara, misery. So these are the things should deeply enter into us. Otherwise, that won't help. That won't inspire us to seek. That's what we are going through because of not knowing Paramatma Swarupa, because of not knowing the glory of that Swarupa Paramatma, what we are seeing habitually from millions life, that alone is still appearing to be glorious, great. That is why we are pursuing that only, isn't it? But Siddhanta Jnana spasht ho gaya about Bhagwan's being Sat Chit Anand, and being Sat Chit Ananda alone is their liberation. When it goes deeply to that extent, then our desire to reach to that Paramatma experience itself becomes stronger. And if this desire is not stronger, nobody can pull us for the Adhyatmic sadhana. If it is stronger than strongest, even God cannot stop us. They are the examples of the Nachiketas, the Parikshits, all of them. They're so strong in wanting that Paramatma that nothing else could deter them. Fears or temptations or threatenings, whatever they may be. So this is one. Siddhanta Jnana Spashtata. Are we getting it while we are going through these courses of Upanishadic Adhyanam? We have to just ensure in ourselves calm and quiet way, which are kartevya. Then the second point which we raised was why this is not experienced is because the Sthula Sukshma all upadhis we are slaves to. And through those upadhis, we are slaves to the outer situations, outer experiences, outer things, outer beings, all of that. Sign of slavery is all our minds, thinkings, plannings, and executions are only about it. That even few things we are not able to keep away or give it up. Even to do an hour, 1 hour, half an hour puja, even to do a 10 minutes of japa. Matlab, how much no knowledge regarding glory of spiritual goal, how much the slavery to that we cannot be without it. Now, these are the things spashta rupena we have to understand. Siddhanta Jnana. Only after that Siddhanta Jnana is spashta, then our actual practice sadhana starts. The best example is our Yoga Darshanam. How beautifully in 1.5 pada whole Siddhanta Jnana is told. Then once we are clear that the Swarupa Pratishtha is the Kaivalya Prapti Hetu, for that the whole Vritti Nirodha has to be done. That is done by maintaining Viveka Khyati for long time. Viveka Khyati can be done when the Ashuddhi goes away, removal of Ashuddhi and bringing the Viveka Khyati, both are possible only when the Ashtanga Yoga is done. When we are very spasta regarding this, then our curiosity to know what are these Ashtanga Yoga and our desire to do those practices, which is very important. Ultimately, Siddhanta, how much ever we study, without sadhana, Siddhi will come, not come. So here, every day we do that discussion. Today we are just refreshing ourselves. Sadhana kare, Siddhi pame, okay, but before that, are we clear in the Siddhanta itself, theoretical knowledge itself, about every aspect? So much so that every thought of ours, every word of ours, every action of ours should be consciously witnessed by us, seen by us, should be clearly understood that it is helping in my spiritual unfoldment or it is taking me away from it. That much alertness and awareness. Once the Siddhanta Jnana is spashta, we have to become every moment. And when we try to think, then we will so clearly know, and nothing wrong if we really realize it, that every moment in so many ways we are just committing only wrong things and mistakes. which doesn't help us in realizing the Siddhanta as experience. Then what? अब ये पूरा बात समझ में आ गया. Like when I know pakka that what are the causes of my either ill health kaho or the weaknesses of the body kaho. Exhaustively, I know through the discussion with doctors, tests and all. Then the remedies also I know. But you can't do all remedies at one go, isn't it? Slowly, slowly, one by one, we adapt. And then we gain what we aimed at as the health of the body, so to the strength of the body, which are required for everyone to do their life's chorus. So, too, in spirituality also, we have to be all alone with ourselves all the time, even though we seem to be with the people as and when required externally. बट विथ आवर सेल्स एंड इतना एक एक चीज का बारीक बारीक से देख कर हमको वी हैव टू अवॉइड विच enslaven us to upadhis. We have to do those things by which slowly, steadily, dedicatedly we free ourselves from the slavery to upadhis. As long as we are slave to them, all our siddhanta jnana remains so without allowing us to do any sadhana other than frustration that I knew, but I have not done anything. Therefore, I reached nowhere. Other than that frustration, nothing comes. So we all must know this as the students of spirituality from last few years. That let us not die halfway with a dissatisfaction that we have not done anything and we were slaves to the upadhis. No. Total conquering upadhis, totally doing the sadhana, totally establishing the anubhuti, understood through the siddhanta jnana. That should be our aim. And why will it not come? It is not distant in time or place. It is my own self. As a positive, optimistic view, whenever somebody has and tries, then he himself will realize it also, or to a great distance he will travel, leaving a little bit things for next sadhana stage. So Siddhanta Spashtata. In that also again we will not take one by one thing as to how we are slaves to the objects, the comforts of those objects, how we are slaves to the people, the dependency on them, the need of their presence, they giving us time, value, importance, love. Now, each of these are obstructions for spirituality. Every one of them we have to work out, sort out. कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ना. Then coming to the Deha level, how Deha Tadatmya leading to the fears for the Deha, making us do only those things which are related to Deha security and which is endless. So there careful we have to be, how to understand Prarabdha, how to understand self-discipline so that from our side we are not doing anything for the destruction of the Deha. Beyond this, to use the Deha optimum way in whatever the way it can help for the sadhana. More than that, what you and I can do? है कि नहीं देह से जितना हम कर सकते उतना ही है. Most of the what happens, we are stuck up with the fears with about it कि इसको कुछ हो जाएगा कुछ अरे तो होना ही है. This is first time that we are dying. How many ways to we have studied in Yoga Darshanam? Every life, thousands of times we got shariras. They were small, cute when born, they grew, they died with the body again like this life. We had so many people around us with whom we were related. They were useless to us, we were useless to them. And कोई नई बात नहीं है. ये सिलसिला चलता ही रहता है. Even if this falls, another will be given. But you know, whatever the people all around, you will get a better people only. I say, oh, ठीक है then. इज़न्ट इट पॉसिबिलिटी है कि नहीं? अभी आपको मेरे से बढ़िया स्वामी मिलने का पॉसिबिलिटी क्यों नहीं है? ज़रूर है. देन इफ द गॉड सेज यू विल गेट अ बेटर स्वामी, व्हाई शुड यू कैच मी? यू कैन ड्रॉप मी एंड गो. आई विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट. आई वांट योर ग्रोथ spiritual. Why what I also have to grow, no? If I get a better listeners than you. I, isn't it? So in this way, We have to slowly sort out every obstruction, every obstacle, every rope or rassi which is pulling us away from our pursuit of the goal. This understanding yukta conscious effort every moment is called as spiritual sadhana, and it is maintained. There is an excuse of मैं थक गया हूँ, अब मैं थोड़ा विश्राम करूंगा. राम काजु कीने बिनु मोहि कहाँ विश्राम. If I rest, I rest. You cannot rest in spirituality. That rest is the delusion of the mind, deluding effect of the mind. फिर उस रेस्ट का आदत बनकर ज्यादा रेस्ट हो जाएगा, फिर साधना कम हो जाएगा. यू अंडरस्टूड. देन वी डिले इट. देखो, जब कभी भी हमने रेस्ट लिया, बाद में फिर मेहनत तो करना ही पड़ेगा. गुरुदेव आइडिया इज दिस कि वॉक एज स्लो एज रिक्वायर्ड, बट डोंट स्टॉप. Isn't it like when you climb mountains, go very slow because of your uh, breathing problem हो या heaviness हो या stiffness of the body हो या the whole mountain itself is little height, है ना, ऐसा है. Go slow. Fast चलोगे तो you can't. But the problem is what? If you stop there, you see how many times we have seen Chardham Yatra. Anywhere you have stopped, na, immediately the whole cold atmosphere around creeps into the Sharira. Sharira starts becoming stiff. Then it says, no, abhi chala nahi jayega. Then chala nahi jayega, lekin you have to go. That time the pain is more in the mind. Because the majburi ho gayi na. Then what is advice there? Go slow, but don't stop. That is why Charaiveti, Charaiveti. Speed they never mentioned. But keep on moving is what mentioned in Shastras. Keep moving. The turtle example, all that are to show us that only. The rabbit has taken the rest, turtle has overpowered and it won. Here the rabbit is the one who does fast sadhana, but in between takes lot of rest. The turtle is what? It is very slow in its attempt, but it never stops. Charaiveti, isn't it? This we have to recognize from within. What do you mean by taking rest? Giving rest to the upadhis. So you are again back to upadhistha. Understand करना है कि transcending the identity upadhi is the rest. उसको इस तरह redefine करना है rest को. Like in the example of that same climbing the mountain or going to the pilgrimage. Why do we feel pain? Because we are attending to the body so much. We just keep taking the name of the Lord and go on doing. Attend to the speech in which Bhagavan's name is going on. Attend to the mind where you are eager to have Bhagavan's darshan. To that extent, we are able to succeed in it. To that extent, our identity with the body is reduced. Accordingly, the pain also is reduced. You don't even know. I used to do a lot like that. हाथ में जपमाला लिए थे, 27 वाला, 108 वाला. 108 बड़ा होता था, 27 का गोमुख में रखकर, खब्बे हाथ में डंडा, पीछे बैग लेकर ओम नमः शिवाय करते हुए. We don't even know how do we reach. Body को attend करो तो it will enslave us with small little pains also which are actually insignificant. Same is with any other bhoga, any other astu, any of the attachment, everything. The more we give importance, the more we become slave to them. What to do? Give importance to the higher to conquer the slavery to the lower. That's what we said now. In the mind, when you give importance to the love to the Lord Shiva, when you are climbing Kedarnath, then your sharira pain will reduce. We can't say it will not, it will go completely and all. We are not Mahayogis. We are discussing something practical. Mind also gets tired after some time. अबे कितना देर है ये वो कहते मन. Then Buddhi should come into picture. It's God's grace. You want to do some special blessings to me? You could have done it by coming to my own bedroom also. But that's not the system with which the world and sadhana is made. That sadhaka alone has to go. Therefore, to be blessed by him, for the transformation of total life, that I am supposed to go. Therefore, I will go. With this intellectual understanding conviction, the mind's emotion also we can keep aside. Of any emotion of the mind, अगर जो आती है वो कमजोर करने वाली. So in this way, in spiritual journey, the struggle, the fighting within ourselves, in terms of understandings clearly, in terms of convictions, in terms of doing consistently. While doing so, we get overpowered by so many things, and how we conquer them. ये पूरा इसमें इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ता है. That all to things done consciously is called sadhana. Yesterday in one of the class we saw ना, जो अपने आप होता है उसको साधना नहीं कहते, वो तो पुण्य फल है. जो हम करते हैं जानकर वो साधना है. एंड करने के टाइम ही from the outer and inner things, all seeming obstructions come, which should not take as obstructions. They are all the tests. They are all testing our staminas, our convictions, our bringing out all our abilities and love to pour in it. इसको इस तरह से समझ. So today's summary is this one. What we are seeing from last 10-12 minutes is what? Siddhanta Jnana Spashtata. Accordingly, this sadhana we have to do. In that, broadly, there are two only. That is what? Ki Vyatireka sadhana of the upadhis anvaya with the Paramatma Tattva. And in the initial days, attending classes will be more because we have to gain Siddhanta Jnana. Later on, along with those classes continued, these minutes and hours of doing the practical sadhana in our life should keep on increasing. After the minutes, hours increased, in those minutes and hours of sadhana, the depth of the sadhana, the total involvement aspect of it should grow. The more we do, like I am doing classes, some sadhana I should start. So at least for bringing the chitta or mana to ekagra, let us say I am doing the japa. Now that should become more equally part and parcel in my life along with satsang, without leaving satsang. Then in that japa sadhana, get the depth. So too in that contemplation of the sentences that we are studying, depth. So too the attempt of meditation, which are very vague in the beginning because पता नहीं क्या करना है वहाँ. But by God's Guru's Kripa, one day it clicks. Oh ho! Meditation is the Siddhanta Jnana about the self. Is this being aware of that knowledge, either pursuing that indicator which is indicated by these words, or be the pure subjective self for whom everything else is objective, and ensure that that is this thing which is explained through these words. हो इसको ध्यान के ओ पता चलेगा धीरे धीरे. कुछ भी हो गुरुओं को प्रणाम करें, ऋषियों को ask them to bless all of us that let this Siddhanta Jnana be so clear that it should inspire us 100% to exclusively seek the truth alone and do those sadhanas. Nothing else in our life should be important. And all this should happen in a most active, dynamic, joyous manner without even a trace of, like a child going to picnic and exhibition. और रोते नहीं जाता है वो, बहुत ही उत्साह के साथ होता है. In that way, that because that's another ingredient important, utsaha and nirutsaha. Because we are leaving the body adi upadhis, not catering to their comforts, for which we were habituated millions of lives. So those feelings of missing them and all the senses, mind, etc. also keep a frowning face कि हमको छोड़ के जाओगे. So these are the ones which make us feel as if we are missing something. More important, when you see the other people of the world, who are enjoying so much, not seekers, the worldly people, ha who and jumping, laughing, enjoying. हमको लगता है कि यार यार दिन में सुबह शाम बैठना क्लास में बकवास है. See my friends and all, one day they go to temple, another day they go to party, another movie, another day they go to the park, another day they fight with each other. What is this frustration? I also want to go. These will come when we look at the world outside and compare. To avoid that only, today's our first thought was recognizing the blessings in which we are basking and thus feel proud or happy that we are at the feet of the Shruti Mata, Guru Parampara, and Bhagavan. That is why such a highest and sacred mukti giving Shastra Jnanam we are given every day. We are much, much more ahead than all of them. And whoever are in the world laughing, giggling, are like us only when we were also at that time laughing and giggling, which was only momentary. It's only a gap between two miseries and two pains, which we don't see them. We know now how many times we also indulged in the world, worldly people. But before and after, how much pain with the people, with the objects, that also will be there. तो उस तरह के प्रतिपक्ष भावना आदि से we have to save ourselves from that mind's moods of pessimism and inspire ourselves to be optimistic all the time. And all of that should be done calm and quiet in a गंभीर रूप. किसी को ना पता होना कि हम ये सब समझकर अपने साधना में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं. So this is how, as we study one after the Shastra, the clarity should come to us. And with that clarity, when we walk on the path, there is a joy that we are walking. Once we walk, one day we'll reach the destination. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsarusibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhya Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Mavaroginam Gurave Sarvalokanam Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namaami Bhagavat Shankaram Loka Shankaram Om Vidita Kila Shastra Sudha Jaladhe Mahitopanishad Kathitartha Nidhe Hrudaye Kalaye Vimalam Charanam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvataitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavataitam Triguna Sadgurum Tannamami Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Samasta Brahma Vidya Acharyebhyo Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo इष्टदेवताभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः सर्वेषां तेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अतिशीघ्रगतिना अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दव संस्कृतेः आध्यात्मिकतायाः शास्त्राणां साधनानां प्रक्रियाणां योगादीनां पुनरुत्थानजागरण समस्त विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगति विश्वशांति कल्याण एकता पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये निष्ठित अस्माकं सह समस्त आचार्य गुरूणां भक्त साधक सेवक शिष्याणां समस्त सेवकानां च पूर्णायुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्य क्षेम स्थैर्यादि धैर्यादि वीर्यादि प्राप्ति बाह्यभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेय आरण्यकांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनस्य प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. सर्वे देवताः आशीर्वादं दत्त्वा विजय प्राप्तिं दधातु. ओम अथ श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषद ओम मनस्तावतमः शान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्याय अथ ऐतरेय उपनिषद शांति मंत्रः. ओम वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणेस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासेः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवत्वतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Spend 3 minutes, 4 minutes to chant the second adhyaya. Om atha dvitiyodhyayah prathamah khandah. There's only one khanda in it. Om पुरुषे हवा अयम आदितो गर्भो भवति यदेतत् रेतः तदेतत् सर्वेभ्योऽङ्गेभ्यः तेजः सम्भूतम् आत्मनेव आत्मानं बिभर्ति तद्यदा स्त्रियां सिञ्चति अत एनत् जनयति तदस्य प्रथमं जन्म तत् स्त्रिया आत्मभूयं गच्छति यथा स्वम् अङ्गं तथा तस्मात् एनां न हि नस्ति सा अस्य एतमात्मानं अत्र गतं भावयति सा भावयित्री भावयितव्या भवति तं स्त्री गर्भं बिभर्ति सो अग्रे एव कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति सह यत् कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति आत्मानमेव तद्भावयति येषां लोकानां सन्तत्या एवं सन्तता हि इमे लोकाः तदस्य द्वितीयं जन्म सः अस्य अयम् आत्मा पुण्येभ्यः कर्मभ्यः प्रतिधीयते अथ अस्या अयम् इतरे आत्मा कृतकृत्यो वयोगतः प्रएति स इतः प्रयन् एव पुनर्जायते तद् अस्य तृतीयं जन्म तद् उक्तं ऋषिणा गर्भेऽनुसन् अन्वेषाम् अवेदम् अहं देवानां जनिमानि विश्वा शतं मा पुर आयसीः अरक्षन्न दश्येनो जवसा निरदीयम् इति गर्भ एव एतत् शयानो वामदेव एवमुवाच स एवं विद्वान् आत्मात् शरीराभेदात् ऊर्ध्व उत्क्रम्य अमुष्मिन् सर्गे लोके सर्वान् कामान् आप्त्वा अमृतः समभवतु समभवतु. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have started the Sambandha Bhashya for the second Adhyaya, which is so exhaustive, given by Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Slowly, we will do it. 1. Starting the Ditiya Adhyaya Adi Shankara Bhashya Adhyayanam. Be attentive, careful, try to grasp it. अस्मिन् चतुर्थे अध्याये एष वाक्यार्थः. भैया, in this first adhyaya of the Aitareya Upanishad or fourth adhyaya of the Aitareya Aranyaka, the total meaning is this. Okay. Before telling what is the total meaning or purport of the entire subject, what is subject he is precisely telling us. Subject means what has been told, the story aspect, it kathanika. Then he says, through this is what is to be conveyed. This sentence, which is telling the conveying of the main theme, this is the purpose of this entire katha, nothing else. Katha is not important. Keep the example of either the Panchatantra, the stories of the past, or even the movies which we see today, or even the writings of Purana Itihas. See, Purana Itihas are the gone by histories. A big valid question is, why should we study them now? And bhaiya, your question is so valid. They are written for not the sake of the stories. Then through them there is some messages to be learned. For the purpose of the message is the moving of the entire the katha. As such, katha has nothing to do with us. है कि नहीं? अब राम जी ने रावण को मार के सीता को बचा, उसे हमें क्या लेने देना आज के दिन? What the message is there? Rama's life of dharma ityadi. Rama being the Lord, Devatas have prayed to him and then he came and protected them by eliminating Ravana. So these are the messages to be learned from it. For that sake only. In this world, everything is like that. Like the mango or any fruit we eat. Arey bhai, fruit is not the one required for the body. The nutrients in the food, the nurturing things, they are the ones. But the Lord's creation is so beautiful that He packed all those things in that form and gave us, isn't it? So we eat that fruit for the nurturing and all, or the food or whatever it may be. Everything is given that way in a packed manner with something within it which has got the purpose, like wife or husband. They are not wife and husband for the wife and husband's sake. No, they are to exhaust prarabdha, to exhaust the vasanas, and to learn few great things in life of love or sacrifice और अनकंडीशनल फॉरगिवनेस, ये सब होता है। इनको सीखने के लिए ये सारे रिलेशंस होते हैं, isn't it? Finally, so to all upadhis given to me, not for their sake, no. Through them, I have to exhaust again my prarabdha and do sadhana ityadi. In the same way, the katha that is told of Bhagavan, Paramatma doing the creation, the katha and the creation, both are not important goals. The important thing is I am Vakyartha. Beautiful, this one. This is so sweet way Bhagavan Shankara summarizing to us. कि क्या हमें इस कहानी से नहीं समझना है या क्या समझना है, या जिस समझ को गलत समझ कहते हैं. What is the samaj which is galat? That the Lord is there, He created the world for this purpose. The Vedanta not required. You are seeing the world and you know nobody created the world. God alone has to create. मेरे पिता उनके दादा उन्होंने तो नहीं बनाया ना इस दुनिया को. Nobody inside the world can be the cause or creator of the whole world. It is somebody other than it only. Logic tells is long back. Why should this story be told? And every moment we are seeing something or other created, destroyed. In micro art, you see, imagine at macro level, we can say is one time the creation got begun and a time will come when everything will go away. अब इसको समझने के लिए उपनिषद की जरूरत क्या है? Any on the road scientist also will tell. Therefore, through this story, what is conveyed is that is important. So first the summary is given. We have seen it yesterday. We'll just browse through in 2 minutes. Then the main Vakya, we have to do lot of pondering over it. Pondering over it, the Vakya and Vakyata is not many. Vakya will be one or two. Vakya Artha also is simple. The meaning and purpose of pondering over it is for allowing that Vakya Artha to deeply enter into our heart. See, our problem is what? We are so good in listening so many good things. But the bad thing in us is what? Those good things we are not listening in such a manner that they touch our heart. They stay in the heart. They become the source of our inspired life. They become the guidelines for our changed life. ये नहीं हो रहा. इसलिए deep pondering. That's what we did in our introduction also in that 30 minutes today. So here also, what he says कि जगद उत्पत्ति स्थिति प्रलय कृत. That Lord who is the doer of Jagad Utpatti Sthiti and Pralaya, as per the story that is said in this Prathamodhyaya. But still asamsari. He did all that, but he never became samsari. What is the meaning of not become samsari? At the time of creation, he did not become creator and God bound. Maintenance may did not become maintainer and God bound. Dissolution may did not become dissolver and God bound. Like we become. So he did not become samsari. Means जो कर्म करते हैं उस कर्म कर्ता कर्मफल इन सब से जब हम नाता रिश्ता जोड़ते हैं तो we become samsari, bound. So he is asamsari. Then we saw sarvajnaha. In general, he being everything, he knows himself. Sarva Shakti, that infinite power Maya, it has to be his only. It is not your or mine. हमारे भी शक्तियां आ रहे जा रहे, तो कहीं से आ रहे जा रहे ना, और कहाँ से आ रहे? वहां से जहाँ जिसका है वो. और कहाँ से आ रहे होंगे फिर? उसे जिसको कहते हैं भगवान. See, either you say that Bhagavan has got Ananta Shakti, or you say there is Ananta Shakti running this world which is owned by someone and he is named as Bhagavan. दोनों में किसी भी रास्ते से समझो, बट अंडरस्टैंड द पॉइंट दैट ही इज सर्वशक्तिमान. देन सर्वशक्ति ही, देन सर्वविद. सर्वविद is in general, सर्वज्ञ is in general, सर्वविद in particular. What is to be created, how long it is to be maintained, when it is to be dissolved. इस तरह से हर एक चीज का बारीक से माइक्रो लेवल में दवनु जानते हैं, वो सर्वविद है ना. सर्वज्ञ इज एट द मैक्रो लेवल, ही नोस एंड ही नोस एवरीथिंग एज हिज ओन सेल्फ. सर्वम आत्मस्वरूपेण जानाति इति सर्वज्ञ. This has come in Mundaka-Upanishad. Yes, Sarvajnah Sarvavita, Yasya Jnanamayan Tamaha, Tasmadetat Brahmanama Rupamannam cha Jayate. So, this Lord, Sarva Shakti, Sarvavita, now listen, Sarvamidam Jagat, the entire this Jagat, you can't leave out anything, whole Jagat. Sarvam Idam Jagat. So, we are studying this 100 times so far. Everything which is seen as Idam is Jagat. So, Idam is said and Jagat is said. To see that we don't leave out anything, the Sarvam word is used. Therefore, Sarvam Jagat, which is experienced by us as Idam. Sarvam Jagata, which is experienced as by us as Idam. This is a definition of the Idam also. And what Bhagavan want to say, we will see. Before that, what is that which is experienced as the Idam? All the three we have to take. One, in the Jagrada Avastha, entire Jagrada world now, running into so many million trillion light years of distance of cosmoses or galaxies, whatever you can conceive. All of that is one Idam. Same way in the Sapna Avastha, any million number of dreams might have come and gone. All of that also is Idam. Third is what? Very important one. This is कि ये जो आउटर एंड इनर वर्ल्ड्स को देखने में मदद कर रहे हैं ना, ऑल अवर पंचकोशास ऑफ देहेंद्रियादि, दैट आल्सो आर द कैटेगरी ऑफ द इदम ओनली. बिकॉज आई नो माई बॉडी, आई नो माई माइंड, आई नो माई सेंसेस, आई नो ना, आई नो आई एम इग्नोरेंट. तो ये पांच भी जाने जाते हैं हमसे, एंड एनीथिंग नोन बिकम्स इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ इदम ओनली. Therefore, all this idam, sarvam idam, वही तो हुआ ना. He did Ikshata, then he created Loka, then Lokapala. That is what it is. So, sarvam idam jagat. Now the next sentence is important. Swataha, from himself only. To substantiate it, Bhashyakara says, Anyad vastu antaram anupadaya eva. Anyad vastu antaram anupadaya. Without requiring any other object, other help for that work. दूसरा कोई वस्तु का ही जरूरत नहीं, अपने आप से ही बनाया पूरा दुनिया. And why the other vastu he has not taken? Because it was not there. He alone was there and he was sufficient. These two are so crucial, no? He was alone there and himself was sufficient. Therefore, no other vastu he has needed, therefore he has taken in making this whole creation. So this thought should make it clear that this whole world of Rupanama, in whatever the form it may be there, it is okay. But basically, in its substratum, it is Paramatma only. In this information, we having converted it into knowledge, we have to become fixed. इसको कराने के लिए भक्ति शास्त्र कहते हैं सारा जगत राम है, कृष्ण है एंड ऑल. You need not go to that if this Vedantic thought also is accepted and practiced strongly. Therefore, whatever I smell, taste, touch and all the upadhis, सब भगवान अपने आप से बनाए ना. They are all the truth only. With this what happens? These being real other than Paramatma, that notion goes away. And these being all expression of Paramatma, the proper relation and respect with them grow. Then what happen? The misuse of them will not happen. We behave properly with these upadhis. देखो, behaving properly with the upadhis is transcending the upadhi. Behaving properly with the world is transcending the world. That's it. Behaving traffic rules is transcending traffic or traveling healthily, safely. Okay, then Jagat Swatah Anyad Vastu Antaram Anupadaya Eva Then the sequence is Akashadi Kramena Sruštva. So, how the Upanishad started? Atma va idam ekameva agre asitu nanyat kinchana mishatu saikshata ima lokanu sujahiti sa marichir manamapada ambaha. You know, that which was in a mystic language in the Upanishad, which is Upanishad's nature, Shankara Bhagavan is putting in a cute, sweet way for our understanding. That Lord who is Sarvagna, that Lord who is Sarvashaktiman, that Lord who is Sarvavit, that Lord who is the doer of creation, maintenance, and dissolution, such a Lord, without taking the help of anything else, with his own self, he having created this world. And while doing all that, he is asamsari. So having Sruštva, यहाँ तक आ गए. Second thing what? Other Srushti Krama is said. Akashadi Kramena Sruštva. Having done it, he entered. That has to be said. Because Imanam Vidarya is the last topic of this first Adhyaya. So the beginning क्या हुआ? अंत में क्या हुआ? Upanishad में how it is to be made simply understandable for the today's world's people. Shankara's krushi or effort is for that. He has entered. Na? So why he has entered all that as we studied in the Upanishad in Upanishadic language, summary of it he is giving us. What is the summary? Sruštva, be attentive. So Atma Prabodhanartham Sarvani cha Pranadimat Sharirani Swayam Pravivesha. For the awakening of himself to himself. This way you understand nothing wrong. Or for every jiva to awaken to his own essential self, he has entered into every of the beings. Pranadimat Sharirani Swayam Pravivesh. Nobody forced him. He only entered. Nobody is there to force him. And why he entered? See, Swatma Prabodhartham. For awakening to one's own self. Now by this, two things are achieved. One is what? The Lord is in our own heart. Be attentive. Second, our entire life is only to awaken to that divinity. There is no other purpose given. The other purposes we take up, and those so-called purposes are the ones which are binding us. This is one thing. Second is what? In all pranis he entered, so that every prani have the Atma in their own self for them to recognize, identify and get liberated. Third, each one, for example, you and me, discovering that Atma in us, same Atma in everyone we have to discover. And then we know that on this one particular self, the whole world is projected, not real. And to bring to our notice this reality, God, then he thought a sankalpa, then he created all these stories told. So, so these are the 2-3 things. The वाक्यार्थ जो शुरू में कहा कि स्वात्म प्रबोधनार्थम सर्वाणि च प्राणादिमत शरीराणि स्वयं प्रविवेश. After this understood, to all the life having beings, Bhagavan has entered for Swatma Prabodhana. Therefore, now no science can reveal these truths to us. Only spirituality can give the answer to these questions. Why I am alive? You should ask a question, no? So I am here alive only to discover the inner life-giving self within me. That liberates me from all limitations. Limitations, देखो, bondage means limitations. Then we call them as Upadhi, Desha, Kala, Vastu, Karma, Karma, Phala. ये सारे Vedantic way of teaching. But basically it's what? Wherever there are limitations, it is bondage. How much or big one thing may be relatively. But if it is limited by some upadhis, it is bound by some parameters. So, the self in me which is limitless, therefore bondageless, to recognize that only I am given this life. Become pakka in this knowledge. Why Shruti Mata Shankara says, Swatma Prabodharthameva, of every prani has entered. So Atma Bodhanartham Sarvan Prabodhanartham Sarvancha Pranadimat Sharirani Swayam Pravivesha. He has entered. Do you mean to say the Paramatma is there in the chinti ant and any of the birds also for this purpose only? Pakka. But they are not doing any sadhana? No. For them, the evolution is decided by the Lord only. In that process evolution, when they get deserved, they are thrown into human body. Then there they are given freedom either to enhance the speed of sadhana through study and all, or get lost by indulging in the world, in the outer world, other than Paramatma. Okay? Yeah? Story aspect and why it is given, what we have to grasp as the take home point from it, essence from it. Shankara Bhagavan is trying to say so. So up to this is the Atma Prabodhanartham Bhagavan entered. That is for all of us generally. In the Upanishad, is the topic stopped there or it got further? It was explained further also. What is further explained? So he started contemplating and he identified with everyone. He started contemplating. Then he discovered that Brahma, who is Tata Mama Pashyatu. Then Idam Aham Syat is explained, experienced. So therefore, in our lives, up to Bhagavan entering and he is identifying and suffering as Jiva tak hua in you and me. But in the Upanishad, it was not stopped there. Further also told till he got realized. Therefore, what is our main take home point here? How he has realized, if we study from the Upanishad, same thing we do, the Jivas, we also get realized to our own self and we get liberated. तो इन द कथा देखो सिनेमा में कथा आधा नहीं छोड़ते ना पूरा उसमें आधा जो कथा होता है हीरो का इज इन द मिजरेबल स्टेट आफ्टर दैट वी मैच फर्दर हाउ ही वर्कड आउट हिज प्रॉब्लम्स that we have to learn and do it so that we also become successful like him. Here also, up to the entry of the Lord and getting bound in the Upanishad and ourselves being in bound stage, common. In the Upanishad, Bhagavan realized himself, or that Jiva realized himself to Bhagavan. In our life, that is the thing to be done. That's what he says in the next line. Ki pravishyacha, having entered and gone through all the samsara for as many lives जो भी है प्रविश्य च सम आत्मानम लाइक परम कारुणिकेन गुरुना बोधित आत्मज्ञ आत्म तत्व विवेक आदि महावाक्य सब ऐड कर लो इधर कि प्रविश्य च सम आत्मानम हिज ओन सेल्फ यथा भूतम as he was earlier. What is that? Idam Brahma. In fact, when he inquired about everything which he is seeing as Idam, he found all of that to be Brahma. And that Brahman is Ahamasmi iti. And that Aham Brahmasmi Sakshat Pratyabuddhyata. He has awakened in his direct experience to that I am that Brahman. So, इसमें क्या हुआ? That which was binding me, which is other than me, that also is Brahman. I am also who is experiencing the bondage, also is Sakshat Brahman. This he has experienced as Sakshatkaren. Therefore, Ahamidam Vedam is everything dissolved in the discovery of that one Purna Aham Brahmasmi. This is the story part which is being conveyed, covered up to the chapter 1's conclusion. अब ही सेड नो इन द बिगिनिंग शंकर भगवान ये पूरे कथा का ये वाक्यार्थ है दैट वाक्यार्थ ही सेइंग नाउ अभी तक ही समराइज्ड व्हाट इज गिवन इन द उपनिषद नाउ ही इज सेइंग द वाक्यार्थ व्हाई दिस ऑल इज टोल्ड टू अस ओके व्हाई ही हैज टोल्ड ऑल दिस टू अस फॉर कन्वेइंग दिस विजडम टू आवर भेजा व्हाट इट इज कि तस्मात् देयरफॉर सह एव दैट ब्रह्मन अलोन सर्व शरीरेषु in all the shariras eka eva atma na anya iti. Therefore, in our today's world, because Shankara has to explain Upanishad to us who are in samsara, who are as disciples to him, we have gone to him to study so that we get moksha through our sadhana. So there was Siddhanta Rupena. What is the Vakyarth of this? Once for all, it should be convinced throughout life that one Parabrahman alone is there, therefore in all the beings. This is the Vakyarth. अगर ये हमारे बुद्धि में घुस गया तो what we have all studied so far, it has become fruitful. अगर नहीं ये बात बैठ में सवेटा समझा नहीं है, that means we are not taught properly or we have not heard properly this Upanishad. तस्मात् सह एव सर्व शरीरेषु एक एव आत्मा न अन्यः इति. Now this sentence has to be repeatedly, rotatingly, we have to contemplate and understand its 5-6 angles. Saha eva. Yesterday I told you, eva pad ka importance है इसमें. eva दो बार यूज किया इस इधर. तस्मात् सह एव, then सर्व शरीरेषु एक एव आत्मा न अन्यः इति. Shankara Bhagwan's commentary is like a capsule in which that itself also is like again sutra. We have to go deep into understand in such occasions variety of meanings. So therefore Saha Eva means what? It is Brahman alone first. Two things we have to do. Reject anything other than Brahman. Second, accept Brahman. That is the meaning of Saha Eva. Because the tendency of the mind is what? Like you go to a good best shop. It is a best shop, still there is a doubt in mind, यार इससे कोई better हो सकता है क्या? In that best shop you have gone to the best counter, still there is a doubt in the mind, is there any other better counter? In that best counter, that fellow has shown you the best object, still हम पूछते हैं अरे यार इससे कुछ और बढ़िया है क्या? And in that best object, he gives me the best price, reasonable, and still we try to do some कोशिश गुंजाइश, है ना? There is a tendency of the mind. It is always, you got children, they are best. अरे यार इससे बढ़िया हो तो अच्छे. You understand naukari, the body, wife, husband, everything's best is given because the giver cannot give other than the best to you. But the tendency in the mind. Here also, Spashta Rupena we are in the Upanishad Adhyayana to understand the Brahma Tattva. Still we are trying to do it with mind, no? Mind has its own tendency to say, यार इससे हटकर और कुछ हो सकता है क्या? That doubt is the one which never allows to focus on the Brahma Anveshana. Therefore, through this understanding, that has to be dropped for once for all. What is that? There is nothing other than Brahman. This is half the sentence. Second is, it is Brahman only. Saha eva. By saying nothing other than Brahman, other thing is rejected. But that is only half only. Brahma eva कहकर ब्रह्म का हमें स्वीकार भी करना है. The whole spirituality is that only, no? Rejecting everything and accepting Brahman. So saha eva, tasmat saha eva. Therefore saha eva. That one Parabrahman alone, nothing other than him. Sarva sharireshu. This is another completeness. In all the sharira of the past and present and future and in the present, whatever millions of shariras you are seeing, sarva sharireshu ekah eva again. That is one alone. That Parabrahman alone in all beings, even now he is all beings, as still again that one only. He has not got broken into pieces and become many. So therefore, the ekatva of the Brahma beyond. And same Brahma is eka even behind all the seen multiplicity. Understanding these things is a Vakyartha. And that Brahman we have to pursue in the core of our heart through meditation. Sasma saha eva sarva sharireshu eka eva, and he is Atma. He is my own self. Again the Anyaha. Again here he is saying is an Anya. By saying everything is rejected. That Brahman alone is in every sharir. By saying those shariras are rejected, by saying that they cannot be without Brahman. Then in each of the sharira that Brahman is there, has he broken into many? No, eka eva. By saying eka, again the oneness is established there. But these are all still object is going on. It has to be made subjective. Therefore, na anyaha. He is not other than me. Iti. This is the Vakyartha. From here, if you see, I am that one without second Brahman, who is in this upadhi, who is in that upadhi, who is in all the upadhis. And that Brahman, he himself created all these upadhis and entered into him. And before creating and entering, he alone was there. There was nobody other than him. यहाँ से उधर, उधर से इधर करोगे 4 5 6 बार, then the Siddhanta Jnana becomes pakka for this understanding that in any number of forms, names, the whole universe is seen, that is always all permeated by the Brahman only. Our goal is to recognize that Brahman as ourselves. Right now, among his created millions of upadhis, with one upadhi here, this Panchakosha, we are identified and suffering that limitation. Who? That Brahman. Who is the Atma of all? Who is beyond all? Who? With his willingness, who created and entered, yet he is asamsari. वो ब्रह्म होकर भी हम अब ऐसे भ्रम में दुखी हो रहे हैं. So many times, your own, some people or friends are your बच्चे कुछ गड़बड़ करते हैं, and you know that gadbad they are doing. You want to tell them, but you don't tell them. Why? Because तुम्हारा उनका रिश्ता नहीं है ना? तो स्कूटर नीचे गिरा हुआ है पड़ोसी का. You will not tell him गिरा हुआ, because you have no good terms with that पड़ोसी. मैं क्यों बोलूं? या वो सुनेगा नहीं. You understand? If you understand this example, in the same way, in spirituality also, we are Brahman only. We are unnecessarily obliging to be the Upadhis and reluctant to drop them. And the Guru doesn't want to tell us because we are not in good terms with Guru. We don't want to listen to him. And in such example cases, even if you go and tell that neighbor कि आपका स्कूटर गिरा है, गिरने दो, तुम कौन होते मेरे को बताने वाले, अच्छा हो गया गिरते रहने दो. No, they are egoistic. They don't want to listen. There are some people, they're so egoistic. So to we as a jiva, identified with Upadhi, is so much egoistic. When the Guru comes and tells, beta, tum Atma ho, Brahma ho, nahi, main jeev hi rahunga, tum kaun ho, tum mere ko bolne wale. So this deep attitude in us is there, because of which even God Gurus are failing to take us toward the self, and we are suffering the limitations of the Upadhis. है ना, यू नॉट गो एंड लिफ्ट द व्हीकल 1 घंटा के बाद जाए, तब तक सारा पेट्रोल लीक हो गया, ऑयल लीक हो गया और सारे चीजें टूट गए उस गाड़ी के. दिस फनी एग्जांपल व्हाट एवर आई रिमेंबर. In the same way, see that one sentence, as he said, vakyartha. Again I say it, saha tasmat saha eva sarva sharireshu eka eva atma na anyah iti. That one alone is the self in all beings. There is no other thing other than him as the self into them, and he alone having made, he entered, therefore he alone is there. And that Atma is me. I have to recognize it. Okay. Then some quotations are given to prove this sentence from other Upanishads. This is how this Upanishad moves a little ahead. And then Sarvagati Sarvajat Malagramatrapya Nanyattu Nanuati Alpamidam Jodhyam Bahusha Atra Jodhaina Karana Sannikshanubhadaya. हाँ, कल के दिन हम इससे आगे बढ़ेंगे. सो द मेन सेंटेंस 2 मिनट कहकर, देन आगे द पूर्व पक्षी सम प्रश्न स्टार्ट. वी विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. सी प्रश्न वाज वेयर आंसर. देखो, these are all bhashyas of Shankara, you know. They make our intellect so subtle and pure and sharper that the deeper level doubts, etc., which are not known now. When we go to higher level of sadhana, there they become obstructions. जैसे कोई केदार यात्रा में, अब आप शुरुआत में हो गौरीकुंड, अब आगे आप हनुमान चट्टी के बाद जाने का वहां क्या obstruction होगा, you don't know that now, isn't it? Therefore here Shankara knows कि at the higher level में जाने और disturbance obstruction होंगे. Therefore through this चर्चा प्रश्नोत्तर या पूर्व पक्ष सिद्धांति, he in advance prepares us. Like somebody told, oh हनुमान चट्टी में तो सर्दी ज्यादा है तो आप पूरा ढक कर जाना, इधर से ज्यादा है वो. Somebody tells you en route, मतलब आते हुए बंदा तो गुड. तो शंकरा is like that. En route to your spiritual unfoldment, these are the places we may get stuck up with a non-understanding or wrong understanding or misunderstanding. Therefore, I am giving you in advance only the jnana. And this sharpens our intellect, deepens our intellect. दोनों है. थोड़ा हम तमोगुण से बाहर आकर इसको पढ़ने से इसके समझदारी के कारण तमोगुण घटेगा, है ना. If we are in tamoguna, these discussions become too heavy, as if unwanted. I straight tell the meaning of slokas. Let us go. I know what is the read of Bhashya, that also so detailed. भैया spirituality ऐसे ही होता है, real one. It is not a common outward academics that you just say कि portion is completed, now the exam has come. In that exam, these question will be asked. उसको by heart करो, लिख लो, pass हो गए. In spirituality, you have to pass through every stage of ignorance and limitation and misery. That is done this way only. And this is a foolproof and पक्का way. शंकर भगवान के भाष्य के साथ हम उपनिषद अध्ययन करने से हम कहीं गलत भी नहीं जाएंगे और इस रास्ते में जाने का नहीं मिस करेंगे, पक्का इसी रास्ते में जाएंगे, ऑन द पाथ ऑफ मोक्ष. So what it is, let us see tomorrow. Om 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 ओम 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 ओम. होमवर्क है ये, जो एक वाक्य जो सारभूत है उसका बस 2-4 मिनट कंटेम्पलेट कर ले. सुबह शाम को 1-2-4 देख लो, हो सके तो. इट मे हेल्प अस इन डीपनिंग आवर नॉलेज, डीपन आवर कन्विक्शन. हो सकता है, देख लो. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो परमऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू. शाम को क्लास रहेंगे सारे, कुछ मिस नहीं होगा, ठीक है. We will see. Now come in 2 minutes for yoga darshan.